You run from the maternity ward to the crematorium, and that's it, baby. That's it. Now, why does anybody think that way? There's no reason to, because it isn't even scientific. It's just a myth. And it's invented by people who wanted to feel a certain way. They want to play a certain game. See, the game of God got embarrassing. The idea of God as the potter, the architect of the universe, is good, and it makes you feel that life is, after all, important. There is someone who cares. It has meaning, it has sense, and you are valuable in the eyes of the Father. But after a while, it gets embarrassing. And you realize that everything you do is being watched by God. He knows your tiniest, inmost feelings and thoughts, and you say after a while, quit bugging me. I don't want you around. So you become an atheist, just to get rid of it. And then you feel terrible after that, because you got rid of God, but that means you got rid of yourself. You're just nothing but a machine. And your idea that you're a machine is just a machine too. So if you're a smart kid, you commit suicide. Camus said there is only really one serious philosophical question, which is whether or not to commit suicide. I think there are 4 or 5 serious philosophical questions. The first one is, who started it? The second is, are we going to make it? The third is, where are we going to put it? The fourth is, who's going to clean up? And the fifth, is it serious? But still, should you or not commit suicide? This is a good question. Why go on?
Listen to what he say about the children.
And you only go on if the game is worth the candle. Now, the universe has been going on for an incredible long time. And so, really, a satisfactory theory of the universe has to be one that's worth betting on. That's seems to me, absolutely elementary common sense. If you make a theory of the universe which isn't worth betting on, why bother? Just commit suicide. But if you want to go on playing the game, you've got to have an optimal theory for playing the game. Otherwise, there's no point in it. But the people who coined the fully automatic theory of the universe were playing a very funny game. What they wanted to say was this: all you people who believe in religion are old ladies and wishful thinkers. You've got a big daddy up there and you want a comfort and thing, but life is rough. Life is tough. And success goes to the most hard-headed people. That was a very convenient theory when the European-American world was colonizing the natives everywhere else. They said, we are the end product of evolution, and we're tough, see? I'm a big, strong guy because I face facts, and life is just a bunch of junk, and I'm going to impose my will on it and turn it into something else, you see? And I'm real hard. See, that's a way of flattering yourself. And so it has become academically plausible and fashionable that this is the way the world works. In academic circles, no other theory of the world than the fully automatic model is respectable. Because if you're an academic person, you've got to be an intellectually tough person. Interdependent, unintelligent force playing around and not even enjoying it is a put-down theory of the world. People who had an advantage to make, a game to play by putting it down and making out that because they put the world down, they were a superior kind of people. So that just won't do. We've had it. Because if you seriously go along with this idea of the world, you're what is technically called alienated. You feel hostile to the world. You feel that the world is a trap. It is a mechanism, it's electronic and neurological mechanisms into which you somehow got caught. And you, poor thing, have to put up with being in a body that's falling apart and that gets cancer, that gets the great Siberian itch, and it's just terrible. And these mechanics doctors are trying to help you out, but they really can't succeed in the end. And you're just going to fall apart, and it's a grim business, and it's too bad. So if you think that that's the way things are, you may as well commit suicide right now. Unless you say, well, I daren't. Because there really, after all, there might be eternal damnation in the back of the thing if I did that. Or then I identify with my children or something, and I think of them going on, and without me, and nobody to support them. But of course, if I do go on in this frame of mind and continue to support them, I shall merely teach them to be like I am. And they'll go on dragging it out to support their children, and they won't enjoy it, and they'll be afraid to commit suicide, and so will their children. They all learn the same lesson.
And that's what I was getting to. If you go, what you're going to do, go on and have your children be like you, have their children be like them, living in this time capsule. Y'all have to come out of a time capsule. That's just philosophy. What I am is a philosopher. I'm not as great as who you just heard. There are greater philosophers out here. But you don't have to listen, sit there and try to read this and crack your cranium doing all that crazy shit. You find you some men of wisdom. Myself. Apex Solar One. That's why I urge y'all to listen to me. Because every part of my philosophy has been well weaved. It's been gone over well in 100 different directions. And I just spit it back out my way. I don't learn from nobody, listen to nobody till I get ideas. And I love listening to other greater philosophers and hear their ideas. And I just keep moving on. But I don't read nothing. You don't have to read. When you're listening to wisdom like that, that's life wrapped up into one. I go to these seminars. I'll pay up to $3,000. I've paid up to $3,000 to hear somebody speak for 2 hours. That's $1,500 an hour. But what you get out of that is so much wisdom. So the lesson of the day was Apex God Body, Apex Solar One. It's called the Armor of God, meaning I'm the God, and I armored you today with some thoughts so you can move to the future and to see if you were somebody in this show. Are you one of these people? Are you a victim of not moving ahead? Are you a victim of, damn, he's kind of right, I like everything old school. I go to old concerts. I'm waiting for Keith Sweat to come back. I'm waiting for Guy. I'm waiting for, New Edition. I just keep going back and back and back. And they're the future ones, because if I'm vibing off of what they wrote or what they sung 30 and 40 years ago, 20 years ago, then that means I can do the same thing. But y'all not putting nothing down. You're going to work back and forth, taking the same route in your car, listening to old school music. Nothing's wrong with it. Don't get me wrong. I love old school music. It's days I don't even want to hear this shit that they got going on out here. But I think y'all can gather my point and what I mean. I think y'all gather my point, and I think y'all trust what I mean. Go and do something different. Take a new route. You might meet somebody or run into somebody that you needed to run into, but you walk in the same way every day. Your thoughts are the same every day. Think of just do something different. Say, I'm going to eat different tomorrow. I'm going to take a different road. I'm going to just do something different. I'm going to show God that I'm in the future. That I'm in the future. I'm not going to sit here and criticize something somebody else do because it's bad music and I wrap myself up into old school death. Ain't nothing around my house but open Bibles and death. Tattoos of this person on me that's dead, and I'm giving that off. And it's making y'all evil. Trust me, the further you keep going back, the more meaner you get, because you start yelling at people and start using your old school methods. The kids ain't like we used to be. The kids ain't supposed to be like used to be. Y'all are, or we used to be. The children are not supposed to be that. And call them children, not kids. Look it up. A kid is a baby goat using a satanic sacrifice. So armor yourself with these thoughts today, with this program. It's a good program. Go back over to some of the things I was saying and definitely check out what the philosopher was saying. And like I said, when he said the part about the kids, it's not for you to believe. It's just for you to hear the philosophy. And if you think it's a good philosophy, from me to him, to whoever you listen to, apply it. Just apply it. Applying something new is changing your life. It's changing. That's all you got to do. Apply something new. Eat something different. You're going to get up tomorrow and eat the same shit. That's why I put up that program. I didn't want to do it. I went out and ate with a goddess, different food. It was nasty to me, but I tried it. And guess what? I did feel better. Felt more knowledge. I just felt I knew more just because I tried something different. I didn't say no. I didn't ignore, because that's the dumbness. That's the ignorance. When you ignore, that's when you're ignorant. So, armor yourself today with some of these thoughts and take yourself out of the old school concepts and ask yourself, can you find yourself in this program? And if so, you need to not change, but apply new things in your life. Take new routes, new thoughts, new hobbies, new man, new woman, whatever you need to do, man, to get ahead. I urge y'all to do that. Just get ahead. All right? Apex Solar One, man. We're gonna vibe on out of here, man. We're gonna vibe on out of here, and that's about it. So, peace and blessings. Always listen to my philosophy. We're gonna let the philosopher finish, man. We're gonna close out.
So you see, all I'm trying to say is that the basic common sense about the nature of the world that is influencing most people in the United States today, the fully automatic model, is simply a myth. If you want to say that the idea of God the Father with his white beard on the golden throne is a myth, in the bad sense of the word myth, so is this other one. It's just as phony and has just as little to support it as being the true state of affairs. Why? And let's get this clear. If there is any such thing at all as intelligence and love and beauty, well, you found it in other people. In other words, it exists in us as human beings. And as I said, if it is there in us, it is symptomatic of the scheme of things.